how to set up your flows to break revenue records during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. This is a very important topic, as often your automations are at least half of the email revenue, if not more. You can see with this brand, this is a brand we worked with. This is from the last Black Friday, Cyber Monday period of time. I'm kind of expanding it here, November 10th through January 1st to include New Year's, Christmas, all that. But it's an important period of time, and nowadays it's not just a week or two anyways. So this should really be the time window you're optimizing for. Either way, get your flows prepared ahead of time so you can set them live whatever date you want to start Black Friday, right? As you can see, we broke some revenue records for this brand last year. During this period of time, we made them a lot of money from flows alone, over $100,000. So it makes a difference. And we're going to do SMS for them this year, but that's for another video. Anyways, let's talk about how to actually do this. Okay, so first and foremost, you need new flows. You can't just run the same flows through Black Friday, Cyber Monday that you were running before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You need new flows. Main reason being, you should have a new incentive. You have a new offer, right? So you need to change the copy at least, right? Even if you don't want to redesign everything, change the copy, and then we'll go over the strategy, bird's eye view of how many emails, the delay times, all that in a second. But you need the new incentive to be in the flows, right? If someone abandons a cart or gets a welcome series email from the pop-up, which should also be updated, by the way, there needs to be updated messaging. And I see this a lot, even with big brands, 8-figure brands. And I hear it from enterprise brands. Like, people set up automations and they just don't go back and change them. Like, it's not just campaigns that are related to when you're running a sale, right? Even if you often do sales through campaigns and you're not running a non-discount strategy, your flows matter in terms of, especially Black Friday, Cyber Monday, pushing some sort of incentive, because that's about half the volume of emails that you're sending out in a given month, and should be, on a healthy account, making up about half of, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but a good portion of the revenue. So it's important to change the copy here if you're not going to change the design. And again, if you already have, or I don't even think I said this, but if you already have decent flows live, you can probably just get away with editing the copy. So you don't have to redo everything. It could be this could take you a couple hours, but it's worth doing, and I would say it's necessary, right? Pop-up form. This I would say is necessary. You need to update your pop-up form just like you're updating the flows. Don't filter out people that are already on your list. So it's not just new people. It should be old people as well, because it's always just a good idea to have a big pop-up form that has a good incentive and opt-in rate live for any new deal. And Black Friday, Cyber Monday, brands do it different at different times. So whenever you set it live, you want this pop-up form to apply to everyone. And you'll find, even if it's people already on your list resubmitting, you'll just get way more emails this way, right? So it's always good to just have the pop-up form with a clear incentive. I would say this one is a little bit too crazy for me. I just got it off Google. I'd like this incentive, the call to action, to be the biggest text on the pop-up form with this high contrast against the black. That's fine. And I would just have that. I would not have another call to action or another discount up here. You don't want it to be confusing. You want it to be as clear as possible. But whatever that new Black Friday, Cyber Monday incentive is, have that in the pop-up form. Have it very clear, high contrast, and apply to everyone, new and old customers. You're just going to get a lot more submits that way, a lot more email addresses, resulting in more money on the back end. So now let's get into these automations. You're probably familiar, well, I'm going all over the place here. You're probably already familiar with what a flow system should look like, what automations there should be, a welcome series, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout. Most of the time though, especially if you already have this set live, these flows will span out, right? There'll be a little bit more of a delay. I see some people even having a delay with the welcome flow, post-purchase flow, which I wouldn't recommend. But main idea here is you want to push urgency, you want to push the incentive, you want to do it in a shorter period of time to get someone over the edge. You don't have 2 weeks of a decision window like you do the rest of the year to send 7 or 8 emails across 10 to 14 days to allow people that time window to make a decision if they want to purchase or not. You just don't have that luxury anymore. So you want to send messaging quicker, either no delay or a short delay. And I'll break down the strategy behind all of that right now. So welcome flow. With all of these emails, you'll see a very similar theme. It's push the urgency of the discount. So someone opts into this pop-up form, you should send them an email immediately. No delay. I see some brands with a 5-minute delay, normally a 15-minute delay, especially off the pop-up form. If they want the incentive, they shouldn't have to wait for it, right? Send it to them right away. Push urgency on the discount. That Black Friday, Cyber Monday discount should be the first thing they see when they open up the email, above the fold, meaning they don't have to scroll down. And then you can get into everything else you normally have in the welcome flow. Introduction to the brand, best sellers, other products, unique selling points, whatever the case may be, have that beneath the call to action. Push the urgency of the incentive and the discount first. Up to 50% off, you want that from the pop-up, here it is, right away. Within 3 seconds of looking at the email, they can pick it up and they got it, right? That will just convert better. And we're not going to do all the other emails that we normally do here. The founder story, us first them, that is for outside of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We want simple, fast, and urgent. That's kind of the name of the game with the Black Friday, Cyber Monday flows. Next, site abandon. A lot of people don't even have a site abandon live. So I'd actually set this one live for Black Friday, Cyber Monday because there will be a massive cohort, likely depending on the brand, of people that fall into this category that you'd otherwise struggle to engage with. And I can explain who site abandon captures if you're not aware. Basically, the trigger is active on site. So it's people who they did not click a product, so they're not in browse abandon. They didn't add to cart, they didn't add to checkout, so they're not in checkout abandon, they're not in cart abandon, they're not in, obviously not in post-purchase, they haven't ordered. But these are people that have just come to the website. You know, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you could be running more ads. You could be running special Black Friday, Cyber Monday incentives on those ads. So you probably have a spike in cold traffic, right? So there's probably more people that come to the website off an ad, maybe give you their email address, but then leave. So that's why it's especially important to have this site abandon flow, because that's who this flow is triggered for. And that's why we also have a 45-minute delay. Normally this delay will be a little bit longer, but all of these delays for the abandonment flows have been compressed down because, like I said, we don't have as much time to play with here, and we want to incentivize people to make a purchase and take advantage of the offer quicker. So whereas site abandon might be low intent because they haven't clicked a product yet, they haven't added to cart, right? They haven't done any of that yet. So the delay will be slightly longer, but not by much. 45-minute delay. And then browse abandon will be 30-minute delay. We'll get into that later. What we're actually showing in a site abandon email, I would recommend making this graphic based. And the reason being is because a great way to address people in this category, so they haven't clicked any products yet, is to show them the best sellers. So still, same with the welcome email. The first thing you should push is the Black Friday, Cyber Monday offer, push urgency on the discount. But then showcase the best sellers of the brand. The reason being, they haven't clicked a product yet. They probably got cold feet and they just didn't want to make a decision. Showing the best sellers is a good way. I mean, those are the best, the products that the most people have enjoyed purchasing from that brand. So they don't want to make a decision by themselves. Show them what other people like to buy, right? And that's a great way to be like, oh, other people like this product, then I'll like it. That's just the way human psychology works. We like to do what others do. We like to be like other people. So push the urgency initially, and then the best sellers. Now we get over to browse abandon. So this is actually a dynamic opportunity because they clicked a certain product. So we're able to send that email to them and show them that exact product they looked at, acknowledge the fact they were looking at it, like, hey, kind of caught you looking at our products here, and then still, of course, with all these emails, offer the incentive and push lots of urgency. Push a lot of urgency. So the urgency will increase, and you can do what you want with copy here, but the urgency should increase as they get further down the funnel and further to that checkout page where they actually make a purchase, right? So browse abandon, 30-minute delay, fires a little bit quicker, offering the Black Friday, Cyber Monday incentive, showcase the product they're looking at, and then we're gonna send another reminder soon after. If they didn't make a purchase here, 2 hours later, they basically get another similar email. Here's a product you were looking at, reminder, we know you were looking at it. Here's a little something to push you over the edge. the Black Friday, Cyber Monday incentive. And maybe this time with this incentive, opposed to these two flows, you'll be like, look, we're only running this for 48 hours. We're only running this for 24 hours, right? Whatever the case may be, just push urgency to try to get people to commit and purchase. Now we get over to cart and checkout abandon. This I like to do a 20-minute delay, so a little bit quicker than browse abandon, a little bit quicker than site abandon, because now they're, like I was saying earlier, closer to purchasing. Here, I'd save yourself time. Just have these be the same emails. They're different triggers, but just make them the same emails. Again, first thing they should look at is the incentive and urgency. Like, hey, we saw you looking at our product. By the way, up to 50% off right now, but even more urgent, only 12 hours. And if you don't want to do time, you can use a different angle, but I'm just kind of giving you an example. Showcase the product they're looking at, and then similarly to browse abandon, 2-hour delay, and then we're kind of repeating the process there. So give them 2 opportunities to make a purchase. So really this is between browse abandon, cart abandon, and checkout abandon. That is 3 flows, even though I'm kind of combining the cart and checkout abandon. Now we get to post-purchase, and then I'll have a little bonus flow over here on the right-hand side. Post-purchase, I like to do I want it to fire immediately, and I'll explain why. This is a great opportunity. This is a warm window right here. Someone just ordered from your brand. They have this is the highest interest they'll probably ever be because they just made a purchase. Maybe they were thinking about buying a different product, especially during this time period. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas is coming up. Maybe they're like, oh, this would be a good product for my sister. This would be a good product to gift to someone. But they just didn't pull the trigger. They're like, I'll do it later, or they got cold feet, whatever the case may be. This is where you say, by the way, like Christmas is coming up. That's, if you want to gift this product or something similar to someone else, you only have until like December 15th, which is usually the shipping cutoff, right? So what I like to do here, text-based email, that's why this one's green and not yellow. Text-based email from the founder, thanking them for their order, like, hey, first name, hey, Steven, really appreciate the order, it means a lot. You could do a sentence or 2 about the brand mission, and then try to get them to order again before gifting. Like, hey, it could be in the PS section, PS, now's a great time to purchase again before Christmas. This is my favorite gift that I like to give, and then it links to whatever the product is. Or alternatively, if you have another incentive or offer you can stack on top, right, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you could push it that way. So with the brand I'm working with right now, what we're going to do is if you purchase in the next 24 hours, you can get $50 off any order above $150, right? And you could also do that as an SMS, a text message. And that's just a great way to get someone to purchase again, increase average order value, etc. So a lot of people overestimate the post-purchase flow. They are weak on it. They don't want to be aggressive. Trust me, guys, this is one of the better performing flows normally outside of Black Friday, Cyber Monday that we have for the brands we work with. Is just often just this first email as well. You can do other emails outside of Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You can do other emails down here, but this is what gets people to convert right after they purchase, this text-based email. All right, finally, over here, this is a little bonus that you can play around with if you want to do it, is another high interest flow, espresso shot flow. So kind of similar to abandoned site, but one more step of interest because the trigger is they were active on site, but they also clicked an email. So that means they have a little bit higher interest in the brand because they've clicked around and they've also been on your website. Normally, I do a 1-hour delay here. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I'd cut it in half, do a 30-minute delay. This could be a text-based email from the founder again. Say, hey, first name, hey, Steven, kind of caught you there, saw you're interested in our brand. To get you over the edge, I'd love for you to be a customer. I appreciate you showing interest in the brand. To get you over the edge, I'll personally offer you a discount, and you make that discount look really custom. It could just be a static discount, right? But you just make it look like it's randomly generated so the person feels a little bit more special and like, wow, he reached out to me. He saw I was interested in the brand. He saw I was engaging with the emails, and here's a personal discount. And this could be whatever you want it to be. It could be your normal welcome discount disguised as this custom one, like 10% off, 15% off. It could be a mystery discount, like they don't know what it is until they put it in to checkout. And that way they're probably more likely to purchase because they're already at checkout and they but it could be a mystery discount. Whatever you want to be, just make it seem kind of personal, make it seem from the founder, and you'll capture a lot more people that way as well. And again, similar to abandoned site flow, there's probably more people that will fall into this category during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because there's just more cold traffic, realistically, right? So that's kind of the overview there. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comments below. I can try to help you out. And yeah, that's it for this one. So appreciate you guys watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.